Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all with us here today at ERF Regional Policy Conference on Clean Energy Transition in the MENA region and the role of micro, small, medium firms. 2 years ago, we embarked on a journey to explore 6 MENA countries' steps in their transition to clean energy with a special focus on inclusivity of youth, gender, and vulnerable communities. Today, as we are gathered, we are here so we give a chance to our regional and national team members to share with us the key findings of their research. And we hope with this diversified pool of experts, we can pinpoint future intervention areas so that the MENA region continues its sustainable growth. As you have the copies of the agenda, we'll be starting with welcoming remarks by Dr. Ibrahim Elbadawi, the Managing Director of ERF, Ms. Wessam Beih, from the Regional Director of the MENA region from IDRC, Dr. Wessam, sorry for that, Mr. Paul Salem, the Vice President for International Engagement at the Middle East Institute, and Dr. Makram from the Executive Director of the Lebanese Center for Policy Studies from LCPS. The floor is yours, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. Dear Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, it's a great pleasure and honor to welcome you to this policy conference, which represents the culmination of 2 years of rigorous research, dialogue, and collaboration. More than just a milestone, today's gathering is an opportunity to chart the way forward towards a just, inclusive, and sustainable energy transition in the MENA region. The stakes are high. The MENA region faces complex challenges: high unemployment, especially among youth and women, economic vulnerabilities linked to fossil fuel dependence, and the pressing need for climate resilience. But within these challenges, the enormous opportunities are there for us to realize. Our research reveals that increasing the share of renewable energy to 30% by 2030 could create over 2.5 million jobs across the region, a number that could double by 2050. In 6 focus countries, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Sudan, and Tunisia, this transition had the potential to generate 1.2 million new jobs by mid-century. These figures underscore the transformative power of the green energy economy, not just for energy security, but as a driver of employment, economic diversification, and social inclusion. However, today's discussions go beyond showcasing these findings. With the presence of government officials, development partners, and experts from diverse fields, we have a unique opportunity to define the new steps. How do we bridge the gap between policy ambition and implementation? How do we ensure that micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, are fully integrated into this transition? Given their role in fostering local economic resilience, and what interventions will maximize the role of youth and women in shaping a greener, more equitable future? Before we begin, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to those who made this initiative possible. Our deepest appreciation goes to our implementing partners, the Lebanese Center for Policy Studies, LCPS, and the Middle East Institute, MEI, for their invaluable contributions. A special thanks to our donor, the International Development Research Center, IDRC, whose unwavering support has been instrumental in advancing this work. I would also like to recognize the principal investigator, Professor Atif Qobrosi, as well as the national research teams whose dedication and expertise have brought this research to life. And of course, my gratitude to the incredible ERF team behind this effort. You have all played a vital role in making today's discussions possible. With that, I encourage all of you to engage with bold ideas, critical insights, and a commitment to actionable outcomes. This is not just a conversation about challenges, it is about solutions and a shared commitment to shaping a more sustainable and inclusive future for the MENA region. So I hope you join us today in seizing this moment, not just to discuss change, but to drive it. Thank you, and I look forward to the discussions ahead.
Let me jump in. This is Paul Salem, Vice President of the Middle East Institute. I want to thank Dr. Ibrahim Elbadawi for his first opening remarks. And I want to also emphasize something he said about this excellent cooperation between these various institutions. I've always looked to the Economic Research Forum as the leader in economic thinking in the Middle East and North Africa with its long history, and it's really been a thrill and an honor for the Middle East Institute to be engaged with it. I also want to salute Dr. Wessam Beih, Dr. Ulla Rifai, and the Canadian IDRC, which also for many years and decades really has looked at the long-term challenges and opportunities in our region as well as other regions in the world, and has really brought resources and leading experts and policymakers and policy advisors to focus on key issues. I want to also thank LCPS, my old alma mater, where I used to be many years ago, and Dr. Makram Ouaiss for their excellent work, as well as the MEI team led by Dr. Karen Young, Colby Connolly, Michael Tensham, and Lee Chen Sim. As Dr. Badawi emphasized, despite all of the other challenges that the Middle East and North Africa face, the challenge of the energy transition, the challenges of climate change are not anything that any country or any society can put off or postpone. And that while it brings many challenges and many difficulties, as he underlined, there's also opportunities in this change. Employment opportunities, redistribution issues, and roles that the Middle East and North Africa can play regionally, but also in other, engagements with Europe and others. So this is an area both of challenge, but also of opportunity. The 6 countries that were studied here have very different conditions, and the country teams have really done amazing work in all of these 6 countries to underline the differences and the challenges and opportunities, but also some of the commonalities as well. I really look forward to reading more and more of the findings. I've been following the work over the last 2 years. There were conferences in September and November of last year. There have been publications coming out really of the highest order. So salute to everybody, and I look forward to reading and following the events of the next 2 days and the outputs as well. So thank you for those who've assembled in Cairo. Sorry I couldn't join you. I'm joining you from just outside of Beirut, Lebanon, but hope to be in Cairo sometime soon. Many thanks, and good luck for the day.
Thank you, Dr. Badawi, and thank you, Paul, and lovely to see you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for this important and timely conference. It's a real pleasure and honor to be sharing this podium with my esteemed friends and Dr. Wessam Beih as well. And as was said, I'm the Executive Director of the Lebanese Center for Policy Studies, a center established in 1989. And that is working in these times of crisis in Lebanon to enhance participatory, accountable, and transparent governance through institutional reform, informing the process of economic growth and sustainable development through sectoral and comparative studies, promoting inclusive and effective social policies to better understand constantly changing dynamics and protect the most vulnerable groups, and lastly, informing the development of policies for a sustainable environment, embracing the concept of circular economy and renewable energy. This conference, as was noted, is the outcome of over 2 years of hard work and close collaboration in 6 different countries in the region and on a variety of specialized themes linked to the conference title. LCPS was engaged in the Lebanon case and the Lebanon-Sudan comparative study. I would like to begin today by thanking our partners, the Economic Research Forum and its president, its lead research supervisor, its lead research coordinator, as well as the wonderful team who accompanied us through the most difficult of times in Lebanon in recent months, and who did not spare any effort to make this project a real success. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone here. I would also like to thank the Middle East Institute director and staff for their valuable partnership, and our exceptional funder, the IDRC, who in thick and thin continue to provide invaluable support and to believe in our ability to move forward and contribute through this research in the development of Lebanon and the region, despite all the challenges we faced in a number of countries we were doing the research in. The IDRC's commitment to enhancing knowledge on this timely and important subject of MSMEs in the context of the energy transition in the MENA region is something we deeply appreciate and value. This energy transition is important for the MENA region because it can provide the region with affordable and clean energy, support sustainable development and job creation, and boost its ability to adapt to climate change, all while adhering to important climate policies. What brings us together today is a shared commitment to a greener, more sustainable, and equitable future. I'm confident, and I'm sure that my colleague would agree, that the conversations and collaborations that will ensue from this conference will bring us closer to realizing these commitments. This conference contributes to advancing much-needed knowledge in the domain of just decarbonization, and we are proud to be a part of this initiative. This is LCPS, if I may tell you, this is LCPS' first conference since the November 27 ceasefire in Lebanon. The center faced major challenges since October 7 in conducting its research, but thanks to the resolve of our research and administrative team, whom I salute, and Russia here with us and the rest of the team really did a remarkable job, and to overcome the obstacles faced. We believe and are committed to building a better future for Lebanon and the region. Our work in the next 2 days can be an essential step on that road. I wish us all much success, and thank you.
Thank you very much, ERF, for the invitation and for organizing this meeting, and thank you, my fellow panelists with me on the panel, and also, of course, to Dr. Ibrahim and to Paul Salem online. I'm very pleased to be with you here today, and on behalf of IDRC, I would like to emphasize how proud we are that we have collaborated with leading institutions in the MENA region, of course, the Economic Research Forum, the Middle East Institute, and the Lebanese Center for Policy Studies on this very important piece of work, and in trying to address, in at least 6 countries and a synthesis at the regional level, some of the dilemmas that many countries around the world are trying to address at this point, which is how to make the energy affordable, available, and sustainable. I think at this point in time, in the turmoil of the region, and let's say our broken world altogether, this is a very important dilemma to address. Because we have seen that also energy is being used as one of the tools for war and for policy and political leverage. I think it is very important that not only because of the challenges that have been addressed by my colleagues and the opportunities that lie ahead of us with regards to the availability of the factors that would propagate renewable energy potential in the MENA region, but also because we rely very much on creating a better future for young people. And renewable energy provides an opportunity for creating more sustainable jobs, more inclusive jobs that might also render higher income and cleaner environment. So in all aspects, this is really a motivation to move forward. This piece of research provides a lot of guidance and recommendations also not just on the potential, but also on the barriers that lie ahead and the policy recommendation that need to be addressed in order to address many of those barriers. There's a large investment that has to be made upfront. There are political and regulation aspects that need to be addressed in order for the good examples that we have seen in some countries like Morocco and of course in many countries in the Gulf to actually be scaled to other countries that are facing more challenges. So I think one of the main recommendations that I would also try to emphasize, and this is a very important aspect for IDRC, is to link the research outcomes with the policy advice. And I am emphasizing this. Shireen is nodding because it's something that we have had several conversations about, how to inform policy dialogue with the research outcomes. And I think that the institutions that have implemented this research are very well positioned to take this discussion forward. One last thing is that I wanted to make sure that since also ERF is celebrating its annual conference very soon, that this can also be a topic that is brought again on the agenda. Once again, I would like to thank you very much for giving IDRC the opportunity to partner with such reputable organizations in the region. And we remain very committed with this agenda topic as a core element of our program in order to continue to see impact in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wessam, Dr. Makram, Mr. Paul, and Dr. Ibrahim for your opening remarks. It's a great start of the day.
So to get started, أنا ياسمين عرابي. I'm ERF Programs Manager, and I have had the pleasure for the past 2 years on working on this project and seeing it through till we reach today's stage. So I'm extra excited, and I'm glad to share this with you here today. So to give you a very brief idea about the project, as I said in the morning, we embarked on this journey. This is the content of my presentation. When we started the proposal drafting, we had 3 pillars in mind. Renewable energy potential in the MENA. We are all very aware that the MENA region is very rich when it comes to its natural resources. And then we started thinking about job creation through this transition. Again, many studies have been conducting, highlighting that this transition to renewable energy with the technologies and everything has a great potential to generate significant employment opportunities, whether in construction, maintenance, and related industries. This is one of the related studies that says that just by 30% increase in our potential and renewable energy, we can actually generate 1.2 million jobs. And then the third pillar came in mind, which is where does the micro, small, and medium enterprises play a role? And again, we know that they have a very important role in driving the renewable energy transition in this area with their great potential. Also, they play a very important role, whether in innovation, local manufacturing, and of course, they are one of the key soldiers or key stakeholders in driving and enhancing economic inclusivity and resilience. With that in mind, we drafted our project, or we drew the project objective. We wanted to enhance the knowledge on energy transition in 6 countries in the MENA region. And we wanted to know how we can actually, if there is any way that these micro, small, medium enterprises can contribute to building and promoting strategic and evidence-based policy initiatives so that we can keep forward and pushing sustainability, inclusivity, and efficiency. And we broke it down to 3 small objectives. First one is we wanted to know and assess how energy transition can impact job creation and contribute, as again, one more time, to energy equity and security. And to do so, became our second objective, which is let's try to analyze the existing regulatory and policy frameworks. Let's try to get a deep understanding of the key challenges, of the potential, of all the policies that can actually push, and what are the options we can go to so that we can continue this journey. And with all of that done, we needed to inform all stakeholders, starting from the SMEs to the today, you're joining us today to the whole ecosystem. I mean, the IFIs, the international funding institutions. We're talking about the intergovernmental organization and all stakeholders till we reach the government representatives about these results so that we can start pinpointing what needs to be done and we actually go and tap upon it. So this is how we moved. It's a very heavy thing, but it gives you a journey about how we move through our objective. We started by literature review, and all of these steps were actually transformed, and this was very important for us, that each and every step is transformed to an output. We started by identifying, when it comes to gender, where are the gaps? When it comes to data collection and their involvement in renewable energy, and the potential, the challenges and opportunities. We wanted to understand this. So we started something called gender baseline review, where we get a deep dive in all the literature that has been produced about this topic. And we complemented this by trying to map the key stakeholders in each of our 6 countries, where we developed country renewable energy profile reports. And then after we finalized this stage, we were aware of who's doing what in the area and where are the gaps. We started with the data collection questionnaires and surveys, and we divided them into 2 pillars. The first one is the quantitative surveys, where we try to meet as much as small and medium enterprises in the region, in the 6 countries basically. And actually we were very successful. I'm going to share very quickly the numbers. In Egypt, we have interviewed 1,002 micro, small, medium enterprise. In Tunisia, 300. In Morocco, 1,007. Jordan, 1,000. And in Lebanon, 804 micro and small, medium enterprise. And also, we complemented this with, this is the people on ground, this is the SMEs, this is their challenges. We heard them out, and we wanted to complete the idea, and we wanted to complete the scene by actually having interviews and focus group discussion with the other stakeholders affecting this scene. So in Egypt, for instance, we had 26 interview and 18 focus group discussion. In Lebanon, 24 key informative interview plus 5 focus group discussions, and they were scattered around. Their selection was to make sure that we cover the whole country, not just a specific governorates. And in this journey, of course, with over the past 2 years, we have been hindered with a lot of the geopolitical challenges that we faced, which actually affected one, which led to it turned into a great opportunity, like in Sudan. And instead of having a quantitative survey, we made sure that we have qualitative one, but we've covered all the regions that haven't been affected by the conflict, and we had so much interviews, and this enriched our knowledge so much. And then after we did that, we started this, when we were designing the project, we wanted to have 2 views. We wanted to see a deep dive into each and every country, where we have the narrative of the country, because they differ in each and every one of them. But we wanted to have something that covers thematic topics and at a macro level. So we chose basically gender equality, energy demand and supply, job creation, and geopolitics as the topics we wanted to have across the 6 countries and enrich our knowledge with across the region as well, in addition to having the national case studies on the 6 selected countries. After that, we needed to make sure that we engage all the stakeholders. So we made sure to have initial consultation where we shared with them our questions, our ideas at the beginning of the project. And once we started the data collection, once we started having some findings on the ground, we moved to national consultation sessions where we shared with them our initial findings so they can navigate us if we miss something else, until we finalized our outcomes. And then we had a final dissemination events where we shared with them the findings on a national level. And all of that comes together at the final product we have, which is the regional report that tells the whole stories and picks from the finding of each and every one of these outputs. It brings you to the whole insight. Now that's the journey. You can see where we land. Now we have 6 country case studies and their policy briefs ready and published on our website. We have had 18 regional and national workshop and policy dialogues organized across the region, and especially in the 6 countries we have been investigating. We have 7 thematic papers and their associated policy briefs, and recently we just published the regional report that tells you again the whole story of the project. And we have, which is very important because this means that we managed to somehow tap upon our objectives. We generated new information, we generated and availed new data. We have 8 quantitative and qualitative data set on the topic in hand on our website. And we have had the honor of working with more than 30 national experts and specialists in this project. So today you're going to be hearing about the findings of each and every one of these country case study and the thematic papers today and tomorrow, of course. But these are the things that stay there. These are the data sets that you might be interested in. They are reflected in the study, but if you're interested in downloading them, you can use this QR code to start downloading them immediately from ERF website. With that, I conclude my presentation, and I want to thank you again for being part of this journey. And if anyone has any question, please let me know. Thank you.